The psychopathic overlords of the state of California just doxed every CCW permit holder.
Before we get started with today's video, remember Mad Magazine before they went all woke on us? Among other aspects of life, they would hilariously use satire to mock and expose both the left and right political parties. Well, there's another magazine that's light years beyond that. 100% independent Flip City magazine. I personally think they're better than Mad because they pull no punches. They'll take a stab at not only Klaus, Great Reset, Schwab, Gill, Final Solution, Bates, and St. Anthony Fraudstey, but they'll give you the bad and the ugly about Dennis Zio Prager, Charlie Kirk, and Dan, World Economic Forum Red Flag Law Crenshaw. It's an uncensored free speech magazine from great artists and writers that you're going to love. Treating woke like the joke it actually is. There's really no magazine like it. Support these free speech heroes. Go to flipcitymag.com and get a subscription today. The link is in the description. This is the sticky part about registration, guys, is that you have a whole lot of people out here who wanted to comply with the government, so they registered their firearms. And when you register your firearms, you go into a database. And when you go into a database, now the state knows what you've got, where you live, who you are, what your birth date is. And then something like this right here happens. And something else, I speculate, might happen. And this might be used for something else that's on the horizon as far as gun rights. It says California Attorney General today announced new and updated firearms data available through the California Department of Justice DOJ's 2022 Firearms Dashboard Portal. The dashboard is accessible through DOJ's Open Justice Data Platform. The announcement will improve transparency. Oh, yeah, it did. Ended up doxing a whole lot of weapons permit holders. That's why you never want, that's what a permit is. You're asking permission from the government. Please, government, can I have permission to, wait. I have an inalienable right or an unalienable right to have a firearm, to keep and bear arms, which shall not be infringed. Isn't it an infringement if I have to ask another man or group of men for permission to have something that I have a perfect right to have in the first place? This doesn't make any sense. Improve transparency and information sharing for firearms related data and includes broad enhancements. Broad enhancements never work out in our favor. I'm talking about the commoners, the little guys. To the platform to help the public access data on firearms in California. Oh, they were able to access the data, including information about the issuance of concealed carry weapons, CCW permits, and gun violence restraining orders. And they say, here's what Bonta said. Transparency is key to increasing public trust between law enforcement and the communities we serve. As news of tragic mass shootings continue to dominate the news cycle, leaving many with feelings of fear and uncertainty, we must do everything we can to prevent, oh, there's that euphemism right there. That's why we say politics is the clever and deceptive art of using euphemisms, lies, emotionalism, and fear-mongering in order to dupe average people into accepting and even demanding the chains of their own enslavement to prevent gun violence. One of my continued priorities is to better provide information needed to help advance efforts and strengthen California's common sense gun law. It's just common sense that we want to take guns from you. It's just common sense that we want to ban bump stocks and AK-47s and AR-15s and high-capacity magazines. It's just common sense. Now, we, the government, will retain those things for ourselves. Today's announcement puts power and information in the hands of our communities by helping them better understand the role and potential dangers of firearms within our state. But what happened? What ended up happening? By the way, if you go to this 2022 Firearms Dashboard Portal, here's what you got right here. It's temporarily unavailable. Well, why is it temporarily unavailable? Probably because a lot of people were complaining that CCW holders, concealed carry weapons holders who registered their firearms with the state of California, were doxxed by the state of California today. Starting on Monday, they're not being doxxed right now because the portal that was doxing them is temporarily unavailable. But check this out. Massive trove of gun owners' private information leaked by California Attorney General. California gun owners have been put at risk by the Attorney General's office after a new dashboard leaked their personal information. And I'm talking about all their personal information. The California Department of Justice's 2022 Firearms Dashboard Portal went live on Monday with publicly accessible files that include identifying information for those who have concealed carry permits. The leaked information includes the person's full name, race, home address, date of birth, and date their permit was issued. Oh, they're not in danger from radicals, are they? There are criminals out there going, oh, we have access to the dashboard portal and we know where all these guns are from these CCW permit holders. And I bet they got way more guns in their house. So what we're going to do is we're going to stake out their house. Thank you, California Attorney General's office, for letting us know where they live and who they are and when their birth dates are. We got all this great information so we can stake out their house. And when they go out to dinner or maybe go on a vacation or whatever, we can break in. And now we got a fresh cache of guns and ammo. The data also shows the type of permit issued, indicating if the permit holder is a member of law enforcement or a judge. So even doxed law enforcement members and judges. The Reload reviewed a copy of the Los Angeles County database and found 244 judges' permits listed in the database. The file includes the homes, addresses, full names, and dates of birth of all of them. The same was true for 7 custodial officers, 63 people with a place of employment permit, and 420 reserve officers. 2,891 people in Los Angeles County with standard licenses also had their information compromised by the leak. Yeah, it was just an accident. It was just an accident. It wasn't on purpose. No, the California wouldn't do that to gun owners, would they? Would California throw gun owners under the bus like that? Through the database, though the database appears to include some duplicate entries as well. The video reviewed by the Reload shows the databases with detailed information were initially available for download via a button on the website's mapping feature. They appeared to have been removed from public access by Tuesday. That's why it looks like this right now. Website temporarily unavailable. And replaced with spreadsheets without the individualized identifying information. The Office of Attorney General Rob Bonta confirmed private information had been exposed and said they are examining the situation. Here's what they said. We are investigating an exposure of individuals' personal information connected to the DOJ firearms dashboard. Any unauthorized release of personal information is unacceptable. Then why'd you do it? How do you make that kind of mistake? How do you get that kind of glitch in probably a very expensive system and an expensive website? Almost sounds like it's on purpose. I don't know. I'm not saying it is, but I wouldn't put it past California agents. We are working swiftly to address this situation. We'll provide additional information as soon as possible. The California Rifle and Pistol Association slammed the leak and said it was looking into the potential legal action against the state. They said vindictive sore loser bureaucrats have endangered people's lives and invited conflict by illegally releasing confidential private information. CRPA is working with several legislators and sheriffs to determine the extent of the damage caused by DOJ's doxing of law-abiding gun owners. Litigation is likely. So we got a whole bunch of criminals out there for a period of time had access to all the information of every concealed carry weapons permit holder. Think about the ramifications of that. It's interesting right here, down here in the last couple of paragraphs. In a press release announcing the leaky dashboard, Bonta said the goal was increasing public trust between law enforcement and the communities we serve. He said the dashboard was about ensuring transparency to, quote, better understand the role of potential dangers of firearms. Instead, the leaked private information of gun owners is likely to increase the risk criminals will target their homes for burglaries, something the state's dashboard reports happened 145,377 times in 2020 alone. Criminals are opportunistic, man. If they get wind of this right here, they will, and they will. If these street criminals get wind of something like this happening, anything goes pretty much at that point. And the thing that I was thinking about was, okay, so you've got all these gun owners who decided to comply with the government, go ahead and register their firearm and get their CCW weapons permit holder, even though you already have a permit. It's the Second Amendment. And greater than that, even if we didn't have a Second Amendment, you have a beating heart in your chest. You have the right to keep and bear arms, and that right shall not be infringed. So it doesn't matter that we have the Second Amendment. You don't need any other laws. You have the right to keep and bear arms so that you can protect yourself or for whatever reason you want. You don't even have to give anybody a reason. You have the right to keep and bear arms. Anybody infringes on that right, then they've done to others what they wouldn't want done to themselves, and they've actually violated the golden rule, something none of us in our right minds would violate. But even beyond that, because we have this list and you have good compliant gun owners getting their permits and registering with the state, and the state knows where you live and they know what your address is and your date of birth and your name and your race and everything else that goes along with you and went along on that permit. You've got an open door to invite red flag laws. Something goes south in, well, a lot of things have gone south on the left coast, but something goes south and people get freaked out. Then they're going to go to this portal, and then they're going to start getting the addresses and phone numbers of people and start calling it in as an extreme risk protection order. Hey, we understand this guy's got a treasure trove of firearms in his house. They don't even know for a fact. They just got it from this dashboard portal. Courtesy of the California Attorney General's office, by the way. Yeah, this guy's a danger to himself and to others. We need you to go ahead and take his guns. So this is Karen. Karen is an anti-rights activist. On social media, she sees a friend, Randy, post a picture of himself and his son at the range. Karen calls local state agents and reports suspicion that Randy might be a risk to the community. Biased state agents look at Randy's social media and use newly granted, or look at the the list of CCW permit holders and use newly granted red flag law powers to claim that Randy is a dangerous threat. State agents bring their subjective opinions to the local court for permission to confiscate Randy's guns, and without allowing Randy a defense, because remember, you're guilty until proven innocent under red flag laws, the local court determines it's okay to confiscate his guns and use deadly force like they did to that guy in Maryland. Remember that in Maryland? They came to his house at like 5:10, 5:14 in the morning. And of course the guy's going to defend his house. Well, the guy ends up dead. Innocent guy, did nothing wrong. They initiated a red flag law on him, and now he's no longer with us. Here's another scenario right here. How red flag laws work to prevent mass shootings. This is Jane. Jane's friend Robin comes out as transgender. Oh, flipping the script a little bit on us now, huh? And starts living life as a woman. Jane calls the police. The police petition in court that Robin is mentally unstable. I could totally see that. The court agrees to removal of Robin's weapons. Robin is shanked by a neo-Nazi in an alley behind 7-Eleven and bleeds out. So now Robin, who, when you're pro-gun, you know what you are? When you're anti-gun violence legislation, which is anti-gun rights, when you're pro-gun, you're pro-women, you're pro-gay, you're pro-transgender, because you're saying that all these people, you're pro-black. If you're pro gun safety legislation, which means you're pro-gun control, which means you're pro-people control, then you want to control black people. That makes you racist. You want to control women. That makes you misogynistic. You want to control trans people, and you want to keep them, you want to bar them access to firearms. That makes you transphobic. But if you're pro-gun, then you're automatically, if you want black people to have guns, that just proves you're not racist. Or it's one piece of evidence to show that you're not racist. You want trans people to have guns to protect themselves? I want anybody who wants a firearm to protect themselves, and nobody's got a right to infringe on those rights. So just like it can work in this scenario right here, where this Randy guy posts a picture of himself and his son at the range, and then somebody freaks out and goes, hey, I think you need to pick this guy's guns up because he doesn't seem all that stable to me, can also work with transgender people. If people go, hey, I think this person is mentally unstable. Bob is living his life as a woman, and I think Bob's got guns. Could you go check him out? Well, under an extreme risk protection order, especially with all these reported mass shootings going on, of course they're going to go check it out, because they don't want to be liable in the future if Bob, who's now living his life as a woman, goes out and commits some kind of, mass shooting crime or something. That's the ridiculous nature. That's the criminal nature of red flag laws. I want to know what you guys have to say about this. Leave your thoughts about this in the comment section below. With all the crazy stated plans of the Great Reset, the currency reset, and even the food reset, it's not a matter of if the store shelves are going to clear and there's a lack of food. The question is when. You need to get long-term storable food. It doesn't matter if it's from me or you just go to the store and you buy food. Just grab dry, storable food while you can. If you want to get it from me, you're going to support the channel and you're going to help yourself out because my link has a discount code embedded within it. You can check that out in the description below.